Hi everybody. So it's Thursday for you. It was lovely to see all of you. Yeah, all of you yesterday at the meetings that we had about maths and discovery of the world. And I was so pleased with the answers that you were giving. I really felt that you were understanding very well our work on fractions and our work on the water cycle. So thank you, all of those of you that were reading and giving answers and listening hard, which I think was everybody. So very well done indeed. Okay, so today, even though it's Thursday, because in Italy, tomorrow is a festa day, we would have had a day off school, I've only given you optional choosing activities for tomorrow. So today is our last video. There'll be no video tomorrow. So we'll do our spelling test today. I forgot to do it, didn't I, with you last week? So if you want to go and get your spelling books ready and pause, we can do it together. Okay, if you don't want to do it together, that's no problem. And you can fast forward to the next bit. Okay, so those of us that are doing Unit 27 spelling test together, let's go. Remember, you can just pause, write it down, and then play ready for the next word. So number 1, song, song. Number 2, long, long. Number 3, gang, gang. Number 4, fang, fang. Actually, I haven't really got very good fangs. Number 5, wing, wing. Number 6, ring, ring. Number 7, king, king. Number 8, sing, sing. Number 9, swing, swing. Number 10, sting, sting. Ouch. Number 11, fling, fling. And number 12, boring, boring. Number 13, wedding, wedding. Number 14, hung, hung. Number 15, flung, flung. And last one, number 16, stung, stung. Okay, good. And then hopefully somebody at home can mark those for you. Or you can just take a photo, send it to me, and I'll see how well you did. I know lots of you have been sending me a spelling test, which is great. Thank you if you've been doing that. That's really useful for me to see how you're getting on. Well done. Okay, right, maths. More fractions, hooray! Now, I've sent you some problems today, which you may already have looked at. There are 4, I think. 3 or 4, I think there are 4. And they're on a similar theme. They've got the same kind of things to do each. So I thought I'd do the first one, at least start the first one with you so you can kind of see what to do. And then hopefully you can crack on with the rest of them yourselves. Okay? So the first one says, I think Sam is his name, has a strip of tape which is 20 centimeters long. So to actually show you, I've made some strips which are 20 centimeters long, so we can do some working out. Okay, so the idea is he wants to cut the strip up, or think of different ways in which he can cut the strip up so he ends up with a number of equal pieces with nothing left over at the end. Okay, so for instance, what he doesn't want to do is cut a strip of 19 centimeters and then have just 1 centimeter left on its own at the end, because then you'd have a big bit and a little bit. There wouldn't be fractions parts, they'd be parts which aren't the same size. Or he doesn't want to cut one long strip of 15 centimetres and then 5 little strips of 1 centimetre, because then he'd have again one long strip and 5 small but equal small ones, little ones of 1 centimetre each. So we've got to think of different ways, basically, in which we can separate this out into fractions, so into equal parts. And the different ways that we will do it means that we would have a different number of parts. So let's just have a think. You have a think of how we could separate that out into fractions. Okay, how many, in your head, how many pieces are you thinking you could make? Okay, now have a think. Okay, now I might not be picking your idea first. Your idea might still be right. Might not, but it might still be right. And I can detect that somebody is saying, why don't we make 2 equal pieces by cutting it in the middle? Yes, good idea. So if we do that, we'd have to cut it on the 10 centimetre mark, wouldn't we? Okay, so you guys can kind of be doing this kind of thing in your head, or if you want to, like me, you can actually make some strips of 20 centimetres using a ruler, marking off the centimetres and seeing if it actually works. So I've cut it on the 10 centimetre mark, and if I put them together, sure enough, I have equal size pieces. Okay, so let's have a think. What could I write on the chart? Because you've got this on your worksheet. So one possibility that worked with the 20 centimetre is I've made 2 pieces. What's the length of each piece? Ooh, do you know, this mirror thing, numbers. There we go. That should look right to you now. Okay, so that's 10 centimetres. It goes from 0 to 10. And that's 10 centimetres. It goes from 10 to 20. Okay, so the length of each piece, when we did it this way, is 10 centimetres. Okay, so I've got 2 pieces of 10 centimetres each. Yep. Each piece is what fraction of the whole tape? So this one piece, if it's 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, this is half of it, isn't it? It's half of it. But also I can use that out of phrase for where that line is. I've got 1 out of 2. Okay, 1 out of 2 altogether. There are 2 altogether, and one of them is 1. Okay. It says jottings. That's just if you need to do any working out, then you can do it here. So some of you might be thinking, I don't need to get pieces of paper and cut them up. I can actually do this in my head. Or maybe we're jotting something down. So what you might have thought, well, how about if I take my 20 centimetres and I divide it into 2 parts, which is what we did by cutting, and my answer would be 10, and that's in centimetres, isn't it? Okay, so if you want to, if you need a little bit of space for doing some maths to do working out, you could do it there. Okay, so that's one way of solving sound question. Okay, but I bet there was somebody else that might have suggested another way. So I've got another strip here. Let's imagine we go back to the beginning. What's another way of separating this out into fractions, in other words, into equal parts? And it's always got to be on the whole centimetres, not like in between centimetres. So let's have a little think. Can I detect another possibility? Another possibility. Somebody's saying, what about 4 pieces? I wonder if that would work. 4 pieces. Okay, well, I did 2 pieces before. 4 pieces means, well, let's try it. If I cut it like I did before into 2, okay, and then if I cut both of those in half, I'm going to have 4 altogether, aren't I? Let's do that. And if I do that, I just got to check that I'm not cutting between centimetre markings, but yeah, actually on a centimetre. Good. So I'm cutting on the 5, and here I'm cutting on the 15, which is halfway between 10 and 20. Great. So yeah, that's worked. Anybody that suggested 4 pieces, I can do that. I've got 4 pieces difficult to hold them all up, but they are exactly the same length, okay? Yeah, they are exactly the same length. So let's see, what do we put on the chart? I've made 4 pieces. If I want to, I could actually skip straight to that part because each one of these new ones is 1 out of 4 altogether. So when we did it this way, I've now got quarters. Yeah, that 20 centimetres has been cut up into quarters, into 4 parts, 4 equal parts, and that's one of them. One of the pieces is 1 out of 4. It's 1/4. So that's 1/4 of 20 centimetres. Yeah, that's 1/4 of 20 centimetres. That's 1/4 20 centimetres. That's 1/4 20 centimetres. How long is each piece? Well, either I can work it out or I can have a look and see. And I can see that each one of these pieces is 5 centimetres long. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Because if I've got 4 lots of 5 centimetres, 4 times 5 is 20. And I had 20 centimetres, didn't I? Okay. I might have been able to work that out myself. I started off with a 20 centimetre strip and I wanted to make 4 groups. And that does give me a proper answer without anything that like we call a remainder, which we should talk about a little bit more after the next holiday. But it's not 5 and a bit, it's 5 on the dot. So that's great. Okay, there are more. I bet there's somebody that's been a lazy bones. No, not a lazy bones, super intelligent. There's somebody that's saying, why don't we just leave it as 1 strip? Okay, let's do that. Number of pieces, let's not cut it. Why not? Let's see what we put in. Okay, 1 piece. What is the length of our 1 piece? Yeah, it's still 20 centimetres, isn't it? What are we going to put here though? What is the fraction? It's not a fraction, it's not a part, is it? It's still 1 whole one. So we could either write 1 whole one like that, or we could say it's 1 out of 1 piece. Yeah? That's an equivalent fraction. That's equivalent to a whole one, actually, isn't it? So, very intelligent, or a little bit lazy, whatever way you want to look at it, if you were thinking about that. Okay. Now, there are other ways that you might want to add on. Let's just see, let's do one more together, see if it works. Somebody's saying 3 pieces. Okay, let's see. So I've got another strip, I've got plenty here, I've got another strip of 20 centimetres. So I measured it against this 20 centimetres. This is an actual 20 centimetre ruler, so that was nice and easy for me to make them. 3 pieces. Okay, let's write that in. 3 pieces. Can you see that? Yeah, it's just down the bottom. 3 pieces. So where am I going to cut that then? I don't really know where to cut it. So I'm going to do a bit of maths. I'm going to do some jottings. Up here, I want to do 20 centimetres divided by 3, because I'm thinking I want to make 3 parts. Don't really know the answer to that. And I don't recognise that from a number family. Okay, well, so 3 times what is 20? If that's going to work. Oops. I've just written in there. Oh no, let's move the screen. I've written 3 times something is 20 then, if that number family is going to work. But maybe it doesn't. Let's see. Let's count through in 3s. Use our 3 times table and see if we can get 20. See how many groups. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. Do it with me. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. 9 times 3 is 21. So if I go in groups of 3, using my 3 times table, I've got 18, I've got 21, I don't land exactly on 20, okay? Which means 3, there's not a whole number that I can multiply by 3 to get the answer of 20. There's not a whole number, which means if I did 20 divided by 3, if I try and cut this into 3 equal parts, I could physically do it, but each part would be 6 and a little bit centimetres. Not exactly 6, not exactly 7, but 6 and a little bit. And in the question, Sam said he needed exact centimetres. It needed to be exactly. So I'm going to go back to this and actually say no. With 20 centimetres, I cannot make 3 equal parts. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you can use any number to make it work. Okay, but the trick is, if you think about the division or the multiplication in the number families, it works with numbers that you can multiply by something else to get 20. So 4 times 5 is 20, 2 times 10 is 20, 1 times 20 is 20. Okay, so there is another possibility at least that you can do there, but it's not with 3 parts. Okay, so that is your task. It's not easy, but it's not impossible either. So what you can do, like me, maybe, is make some strips and actually see if it works. So there's a little bit more that you might think to do on that one. The ones about liquid, which is at least number 2, is a bit more difficult for you to actually try out. You might not have glasses of the right size. That's a bit harder. You might just have to use your head and your maths for that one. The third one, I think Sam has got a strip of 24 centimetres. Okay, so maybe when it's 24 centimetres on that question, maybe you can make 3 equal pieces. I will leave that with you to try and work out. Do your best on it. Doesn't mean you've got to find every single possible answer to every part of the question, but see if you can maybe think of 1 or 2 ways at least of dividing up either the liquid or dividing up the strip of paper that Sam is working with. Okay, different ways of doing it. And obviously you can come back to that on the video and have a little look when necessary. So that's your maths. What else? Oh yeah, for your discovery of the world, your job today is to see if you can draw me a diagram of the water cycle. Now, at least one person, Christoph, has sent his in. Oh my gosh, absolutely brilliant diagram. And I know loads of you, he's not the only one, loads of you are going to be good at this because I remember when you did your ear diagrams, for instance, how good they were. So a diagram, remember, is a scientific picture. So it doesn't have people in it. I don't want to see people in the sea or somebody waving from the top of a mountain. I'm not interested in aeroplanes in the sky. I need to see the things which are important to the water cycle. Okay, where is the collection happening, for instance? What is there heating up the water? You can use arrows to show how the water cycle is moving, okay? And then the special words that go with each part of that, obviously you can have around the edge of the diagram or even in the middle of it with lines and arrows pointing to the right part of your picture, of your diagram, okay? So a diagram is a picture with labels, so it explains something. On your assignments task, I've sent a couple of black and white blank ones and the ideas of labels so that you can use that to help you a little bit, okay? Don't just write on those, see if you can make your own one and get a photograph of it sent off to me if possible, okay, on the Teams. Great. So what else? That's it really. L1 English children, we've got a meeting today at 1. I know last week we had it on Friday, but because Friday's festive this week, we're having it today. I hope you've noticed that on your calendar. So L1 English, 1 o'clock, we're going to see each other. And we're going to talk, amongst other things, we're going to talk about your favourite character so far, because we're nearly at the end, from the Firework Maker's Daughter. So be ready with something to say. If you did your work yesterday, think about what you wrote down, okay? Who's your favourite character and why? Without just saying nice, he's nice, she's nice. Think of some strong adjectives to justify why you've chosen that character or something that they do that really appealed to you. And we'll talk about that at 1 o'clock. Righty-ho. Good, that's kind of us done for this week then. There are some optional activities like Matifique and things for you to be doing tomorrow if you so wish. Have a look on your Teams assignments for those ideas, okay? But no stress, they are not compulsory. And then have a lovely long weekend, okay? And I shall see you, most of you next week, and L1 English, I'll see you at 1 o'clock today. Okay, bye.